Flash number 52, Joshua Williamson writing and Christian Duce on the art. So this was Barry dealing with Commander Cole now being in Central City and how to put up with him while there's a plot going on with the Trickster and the Para-Angels.
You overlooked the most important thing. We open on a panel of the multiverse map. And I'm like, oh, hang on a second.
Yeah, he's on the orrery.
Okay, sure, yes. He goes and speaks to all the Flashes from all the other Earths about these other forces, and they give him the advice of going on a force quest.
Yeah, not just they, the turtle from Captain Carrot's Earth, Fastback from the Zoo Crew, is like, oh, I went on a force quest, and you need to do that. It'll open up your eyes. But just seeing all these different Flashes, and the one Lady Flash in purple, it's weird that she's there because she's the Tangent Universe Flash, and her powers aren't tied to speed. Her powers are tied to light. So, I mean, I get why she's there, but to give her such a spotlight and whatnot, I feel that what's going to be going forward is it's going to be these forces that tie Flashes across the multiverse together, not just the Speed Force. So whether it be the Strength Force or the Sage Force or whatever else that he finds out across this story, I feel this is where it's going.
Yeah, I have no doubt that people who are like even more continuity nuts than Matt have already dissected that 2-page layout and tried to name as many of those characters and where they came from as they possibly can, because I'm sure most of them have origins. I'm sure most of them come from something, and are not just randomly created characters for the purpose of this page.
Yeah.
But
no, because you have a Bizarro Flash in there. You have the Flash from Kingdom Come. That's just kind of a vibrating blur. There's like a robot Flash.
It's like the Red Tornado Flash, right?
Yeah, Red Tornado Flash. There's a little like Imp Flash.
Yeah, that'll be the one from what's it called? We got it in Multiversity. We got an issue on that.
Yeah,
the little Batman, didn't we?
Yeah. You have the Justice Riders version of the Flash, who's like a gunslinger. But the one that really stuck out to me is you have Jay Garrick from the Earth 2 series from New 52 in the background. So again, I don't know how much of this, but what stuck out to me is that he has an exchange with the Flash whose powers aren't speed driven. So I'm probably just sinking into something I shouldn't be, because that's what I do. But but yeah, so multiverse, that's cool. I like when Williamson reminds us this takes place in a larger universe.
Yeah.
But
then larger multiverse. Even.
Multiverse.
It's nice that so we're focusing in on Barry in the sense that we've lost Wally and Wallace. But instead of just getting insular, it's like no, we're going multiversal.
Yeah, and things feel very different as well, because now he's moved in with Iris, and we have like a scene with them sitting on the couch and openly talking about like his Flash antics, which is a complete shift from like, I mean, obviously it's been like 10 issues or something like that since you found out, because we had that arc go straight into the Grodd stuff, we went straight into Flash War, but the whole thing, like for like 35, 40 issues, it was no, she didn't know about him being the Flash, and we were doing the whole secret identity thing for a while, and it's such a change to have this. And there's that fun little gag at the end of the page where he speeds off and then speeds back to give her a kiss, because she looks really annoyed at him at first, and then he comes back, and there's a little joke like, oh, you're always ahead of me, and one day you'll catch up, Barry. It's sweet. The Barry-Irish relationship actually feels like it's there now, because as much as it was better at the start of Rebirth than to what it was before, I think we all just kind of missed them just being a couple and just being there, and they're not quite married yet. Although I did get a nice little smell from her remembering the wedding, but not telling him that she remembers that specifically,
Yeah.
So it's sweet if you like their relationship, and I do. So the main plot though is that the Trickster is actually being taken out from some agents to actually tell on Wolf and his shady...
Yeah, he's going to testify on what's been going on in Iron Heights.
Shady practices. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Shady. But the Power Angels come to get him, and Flash sees this going on. He intervenes, runs up the building, typical Flash action as you do. Has a bit of a fight. Commander Cole shows up and kind of gets in the way, freezes the Parademons, almost kills one, and Barry ends up having a bit of a pissing contest. Like, this is my city. We do things my way. You don't do this. Blah blah blah. And Trickster runs away and gets sucked into the ground. The ground just opens up and eats him. And I was like, is this like a tar pit thing? Like, what's going on right now?
My brain went straight there too.
Yeah.
And he's missing his hand, which is, I forgot about that.
It fell off earlier in the issue. Yeah.
So that's great. But yeah, Trickster looks like he got, and I was like, oh man, is James Jesse coming back?
Yeah, and
like
until the end, and then Cole's like tracked the energy that they're trying to track down the other forces. He's like, okay, so this is where Trickster went away, and there's also energy here that corresponds with the Strength Force, and then Trickster comes out the ground, and Joey reminded me of the final Joker fight from Arkham Asylum.
That's what I got too. Yeah,
that's what it looks like. That big, muscly, bulky version.
When he's venomized.
Yeah. And it's basically, I mean, and this is better arguably because the Joker thing in Arkham Asylum just felt kind of like, oh, we just need a boss fight, and we want it to be the Joker, so we have to make him stronger for whatever reason. Whereas this is like, no, we're doing a thing with the Strength Force, so this is actually tied into the plot. And he's like, oh, I learned a new trick, Flash. So we got big Hulk Trickster to deal with next issue, which should be delightful.
Which I like because it's Trickster. It's what else? I mean, you wouldn't expect that out of him to be the Strength Force.
And he's got like a rock arm instead of his fake arm now.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a nice touch. It's a nice touch.
There was also a bit with Iris saying like all these memories are coming back, but they kind of come and go. But some of them really like stay with her, and you get a flash of she remembers their wedding and stuff. And I just love the way that the art was handled with that, because the way that it made it seem like dreamy and misty and whatnot.
The purple haze on it.
Yeah, I got to that page. I was like, oh man, that's a real cool effect.
Yeah, and there's some reasonable expression work there. I like the smirk in her face, and she's been kind of cheeky and not telling him, like, no, nothing specific, but she's actually remembering the wedding. And it's this really neat way that it feels like they're back to being themselves, like I said, without going through all the plot beats of actually doing the wedding and all that again, which we might do at some point. I can see us having that later in the run, but...
and then you get...
see it being quite easy, though, like, once they both remember, and be like, well, we might as well just do it.
Yeah, we've already been married.
Out of it.
Yeah, why not? The stuff with Kristen too, because not that I forgot she was a character, but I forgot because there's so much has happened since Barry got moved to Iron Heights. But she looked like she was heading up that investigation into Wolf because she lets it slip to Barry. It's such a big case we were building, and now it's lost. And he goes, "Wait, what?" And she goes, "Oh, never mind." So I like that Williamson's seeding all this little stuff, and like. This is shaping up to be a really good run. Like, he's 52 issues in. He's written all of them, right? Like, he hasn't not.
Yeah. Did this have a rebirth issue as well, or
did it? Yeah.
One? So 53 issues then, including that.
53 issues.
2 annuals.
Annuals. Yeah.
Or 1 annual. Has it been 1 or 2? It was just 1.
At least 1. I don't know if there's.
It was a prelude to the Flashpoint. I think that was the only one we've had so far.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so
54.
54 issues. And I think he said at cons that you're going to have to kill him to get off the book. So
that's fine by me.
Yeah,
someone might try.
Someone may try, but it's not. It's actually, it feels, because I think obviously it got really good with the garage stuff, and then Flash War was really good, and it felt like he was finally getting to do what he'd clearly been wanting to do since the start, and it was using elements that he'd been setting up in that first like 30-40 issues, and making them feel more relevant and more important. And I think, there was almost a slight worry that after Flash 4 was done and we went back to just being Barry as the main character, that, oh, will it go back to still being good but not as great as it became? But it does feel more confident. It feels like there's just like he settled into what he wanted the book to be and where he wanted to be and where he wanted Barry and Iris to be and what they're dealing with. So now we're dealing with a Strength Force and unique new ideas that feel unique to the run. So yeah, I guess we're pretty much all praise. I want to mention the art briefly as well, because I think Deuce does a good job here. I think there's some nice facial expressions. And I think the reason why I want to point it out is because I remember he filled in for an issue or two back in the first arc, and I remember feeling like it was a step down at the time. and I didn't like how he was drawing heads. I didn't have that problem this time, so I think he's
No.
actually gotten better.
I have a couple of critiques. I think the earpieces for the Flash are like way too long.
So that's fair.
They seem to go on forever, and also I do think it's overshadowed at times. Like there's just like when Barry and Iris are sitting having that conversation. I think it's like the panel after she has the wedding flash.
Mm-hmm.
Like Barry's face, the shadow just looks like it's way too heavy. There's a few times in the issue that I felt that.
That's fair. Like I say, I think it was much better than I was expecting, given his previous issues. And I thought it was some good expressive work. And I really liked the panel of Trickster being pulled into the ground. I thought looked really great. I thought the orange mixing with his purples was a really nice contrast, and it looked good. And I'm being dragged in, but he's only got one arm to try and, because he's doing that classic thing where the arms are out trying to like hold himself up, but he's only got one arm, so it looks really futile.
And there's not really anything to grab onto.
Yeah.
No.
So that's fun. But I think the line works generally pretty good in this issue. So no. So we'll rate the book then. Flash issue 52. What are you giving it, Matt?
It's 8.5.
Connor?
Yeah, solid 8.
8.5.
Yeah, something like that.